Bonjour, Appalachian Sniper. Bienvenue à la maison. So I'm actually in the car now driving, if you can't hear it, but I was really thinking we're going to have an overlay of video or a photo or something. But I think this is important, and I do my best thinking when I'm driving. I don't know why. So essentially, the Appalachian Sniper Project, which is a proprietary project that I came up with that is to innovate sniping as a whole, specific to the Appalachian region. It's essentially akin to jungle warfare and how to snipe in the jungle. Think of Vietnam. But the question is, during the springtime and summertime, early summer to be exact, is it even a viable option for the guerrilla? Now I'm talking more woodsy here. I never really hit on urban stuff. That's going to be a whole different route, and we will hit on that eventually. You have to, you have my word on that. But we're talking about, woods. Oh wow, I almost hit a deer. Nice. We're talking like woods and stuff like that. Forest, very rural areas, maybe a couple buildings here and there, a couple houses. But, they each got their own acre, 2-3 acres at least, So to fend off a foreign invasion, talking Red Dawn or something, to fend off a conventional force, it's all hypothetical, follow all local, state, federal law, I came up with a sniper system. Now, it's solely to protect, it's never to assault. The best defense is a good offense, but that's also vice versa. The best offense is a good defense. They play hand in hand together. One could not exist without the other. It's like good and bad, good and evil. 50 Cent said, joy wouldn't feel so good if it wasn't for pain. So, and yes, I stand by Get Rich or Die Trying is the best rap album of all time. I do not care. I love that album, the whole album, best album ever. I don't even care. Say what you will. But anyway, circling back around the topic, is it even a viable option, and why would it not be? If it works, if it's perfect for fall and it's perfect for winter, why would it not be? Simple fact is that in this region of America, the brush, the thorns, roses, blackberries, the huckleberries, the field, the wheatgrass. I'm not really a plant dude, but hopefully you're picturing all this brush. Anywhere you go, unless there's a pre-trotted deer trail or road or ATV trail that's cut, I'm talking literally anywhere, the whole floor of the forest is covered. And I have some GoPro footage I took about a week ago, and it's even greener now, but I might go out and get some more. I'll try to overlay it if I can find it. If not, you just look up pictures or watch some of my other videos. It is insane. You can't see more than 25 yards in front of you. Actually, it's probably more like 15 yards in front of you, and the 25 yard is considering you're walking a deer trail or something. It's nothing but hills and hills, up, down, and brush as far as the eye can see. And that's anywhere in the forest. That's not just specific areas. So this is the conundrum. Yes, sniping inherently does not mean longer distance. It means precision shots, even within 50 meters. Successful sniper operations were performed in Iraq by Al Qaeda. Don't get me wrong, but Al Qaeda snipers, for historical reference, would typically shoot within 250 meters, sometimes around 50 meters, and they would shoot out of buildings using hide sights back in the rooms. And honestly, they were very, very successful with that. And I hate to say that because I'm an American and I was in the Army and stuff. So, you know, I'm very patriotic, always have been. But I digress. You know, we can learn from the bad guys, you know what I mean? We can learn from them, and we can adapt and use their own techniques to better ourselves. So we're talking precision, we're not talking long range. None of this has ever been long range, because the effective distance in Appalachia, the shots that we would be making even in the winter time, would only be 200 to 300 meters, and that's maxed out. So the system that I made, that I've had, about probably 8 episodes on by now, they're all in the playlist. Would that be sufficient for this? The answer is yes, but it's a little bit more complicated than that. It's based around an AR-10 as the main fighting sniping rifle, kind of a mix. You want semi-auto capability. We're not reaching out to 1,000 yards. You'll never see that in your life if you live here and don't travel. It's plenty accurate enough, and you can lay down suppressive fire if need be in a quick pinch, but it's more for taking out high value targets and ammo, you know, caches and vehicles. You want a 308 to penetrate brush. We did a whole little experiment video, or it wasn't an experiment, but we did a whole video about that. But we did a whole video about why 308, and then that is paired with a PDW and or a Glock clone of some kind, and you're just going to carry a ton of mags on you for suppressive fire or in case you need to break contact. Now this is where this comes in. Also, I want to hit off the spotter. Carries a SPR, typically like a 2-10 optic with an RMR on top, AR-15 5.56, plenty of mags. He's 8-up with mags. He don't really need a lot of pistol mags. I'd recommend him running a Glock just in case the sniper needs more ammunition while they're breaking contact, but he can carry whatever the hell he wants for a sidearm. But for the spotter, what a SPR does with some magnification at those distances that we will be working with, it allows him to make PID and call shots, as well as engage targets within the same range as the sniper. Now, I am going to do a more conventional sniping setup, and that I don't know if I'm going to call it V2 or what. I don't know, but for everybody following this project, there will be eventually, I'm not going to spoil anything, but a different sniper system and a different spotter, and it's kind of going to be a little, it's like the inverse of what I'm doing. I'll put it that way. It's complete inverse, but it'll work just as good. That's what I'm trying to do, just to give you guys more options. I do feel like my initial claims and stuff that this is the best possible system for what we're trying to do, I do feel like 100% that is still true. But some people are stubborn, and I'm going to just give you a hint. It's going to involve a bolt action, because I have met people in real life that just don't understand. A 308 out of an AR-10 out of the same length barrel will do the same thing. And it only requires one shot. If it requires one shot, the thing is, versus a bolt action, if you require 2 shots to put down the same target, you're going to have nothing but issues at the bolt action. With all that movement, you're going to risk being seen. It's not going to be as fast. I don't care how fast you are. A semi-auto, I can bang, bang. Literally bang, back on target, bang within 2 seconds. A bolt, by the time you rack it and get back on, that's about 4 seconds. You know, I mean, we're talking life and death here, guys. I know I say it's hypothetical, but really put yourself in that situation. That's the problem I see with people on the internet. They don't put themselves in that situation. They don't want to take advice because they're stubborn. They don't want to learn, or they're ignorant. And I'm not saying that you listening to this are ignorant. I'm just saying that I've studied this for about 3 years. All right, so just 3.5 at this point. So just hear me out. So is this whole system viable? Like I said, yes, but it's mainly focused around the PDW, which is essentially a Glock or Glock clone with a brace. How does that kind of make up for it? Because when you're carrying that and you got that out, anything up to like 100 meters with the specific version that I'm working with now is doable, especially with suppressive fire. You might not get a hit every time. You might get a hit every third shot, even with the dot directly on your target. However, when you're trying to just break contact and get the hell out of there because you were compromised and you have to egress as fast and efficient as possible, that's where that comes in at. Yep, that is where that comes in at. So, like I've been saying, with suppressive fire and stuff, and just using that as a brush clear if need be, a bush moves, twig snaps, and it sounds a little bit different than a deer, just spray in that general area, and get the hell out of there. Now, the no section goes as follows. It works because we do still have close range capabilities, and if you were able to get up on a cliff face without any surrounding trees, you can still see for a long distance. But the odds of you seeing anything unless you're over a field is second to none, unless they're shooting from like a field line or they're in the middle of a field staging vehicles or something. You will not get the drop on them because it is too thick. It's not just if you can see and if you're in a good position, but also what they can see and if they're in a good position for you, if that makes sense. You can't control where the enemies are. You can try to funnel them or, cause distractions or instill fear to see if they'll go another way. But you cannot directly control the actions of another human being, no matter how hard you want to. So, you're adding a lot of variables there. And I really hope we're picturing this together. You're up on a cliff face, lots of cliff face here. You're just over the tree line of the surrounding trees, and you're looking around, but all you see is trees, and you can't even look and penetrate the tree line because at the base of these trees, all the way around, let's say a field or whatever, is 4 to 5 foot of thorns and brush. So it works in a sense you can get a good view, and I mean if there's big large convoys and stuff and like you're literally tracking tanks, then yes, it should be fine. It should work. It should work just fine for observing and taking out motor vehicles and stuff like that. But when you get to individual opposition and they start running for the tree line to take cover and fire back at you, and you got a hail of bullets coming from 10 AK-47s and RPK, AKM, I don't even know what else they have now, coming up and just shooting that cliff face, and all of a sudden a mortar goes off right at the bottom and the whole cliff falls out below you. Yeah, I mean a little bit dramatic, but like realistically, they're going to use mortars and stuff. They're just going to pin you down if they don't instantly kill you. Now, if you could see them, a two-man team could hold off at least a squad-size element, if not a whole platoon, if they are concealed. But the problem is that the opposition in this case that ran for the wood line is just as concealed as you, if not better. So you're losing every advantage in that case. So essentially, the answer is yes, but no. Now, I do feel like the techniques and tactics that I've taught throughout these videos and that I'm going to continue to teach, because this is kind of my niche, I got to be honest. It's my own proprietary thing. And, all that. I still think in the fall, when the leaves start falling down, and in the wintertime when it's kind of barren and you can see a little bit more and you can observe a little bit more, I think it is a much better option. I think it's the best option for a guerrilla, because it allows you to instill fear into a more powerful conventional force. It allows you to pin down larger groups, take out larger groups. It allows you to do a lot of stuff. Keep you concealed, hidden, your identity concealed and hidden. You know, the only thing you got to worry about is getting caught or seen. And if you get caught or seen, then I mean, you know, it's a suicide mission every time you go out. We'll put it that way. But you know, if there's tanks in the streets, that's just something you're gonna have to live with until you don't. Sad reality, but sometimes you just gotta grab your nuts and go do it, you know. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe for more. That's kind of my whole spiel on it. I think I'm going to come up with a proxy. Well, there really isn't a proxy. I got to be honest. I might come up with the springtime version and just add like a 1-to-6 LPVO and an AR. That's probably what it's going to be. But, you know, we're working with buckshot and shotgun distances. I have a shotgun video coming out. I'm waiting on smoke grenades because the smoke grenades are inherent to the shotgunning kit. Also, chem lights. And you might be surprised what I do with them. I have a really strong tactical prowess. I come with that being humble, but I typically, my viewers really enjoy that I think about stuff that no one else thinks about, and I got some cool ideas. So yeah, guys, like, comment, subscribe, or whatever. I'll be on till. Peace. See you next time on the mountain. And God bless you.